Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new. I hope you are having a fantastic day. I have two more candles that are ready to be formally reviewed. They are both from Yankee Candles, so we're going to do another in-depth candle review day here on my channel to kick this week off with. In this first video, we are obviously going to take a journey through Yankee Pistachio Latte. This was a part of the somewhat recent Hello Italy collection. And a little bit later on this afternoon, I'll share my review of Yankee Candle Iced Berry Lemonade. That particular fragrance is not a part of any collection or anything. I just thought the description sounded delightful, and it's great scent. So anyway, if you are interested in more of my home fragrance related content and you are not already subscribed, definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button before checking out of today's video. That way all of my future home fragrance related content will pop up in your subscription feed. So first, let's go ahead and read through the fragrance description, the top, middle, and base notes. Then we'll take a look at the strength and throw of this particular fragrance. And then, of course, I will discuss any burn issues that may have come up. So yeah, I have to say, just before we get into it, so far I have been pretty impressed with my foray back into the brand after taking a serious break from them for a number of years. So I've been pretty pleased for the most part. This particular candle has been a little bit of a roller coaster. Not awful, but it definitely, I can tell it's doing a lot better in this room here than it was doing in the downstairs. But also there were a few burns downstairs that were significantly stronger before it kind of started to peter off a little bit. So kind of an interesting experience with this one. All right, let's go ahead and dig in with this description here first. Grab a quick pick-me-up at a Roman coffee bar where notes of pistachio, creamy coconut milk, and sugared vanilla swirl together in a sumptuous concoction. The top notes are almond milk and crushed pistachio. The middle notes are marshmallow, coconut milk, and sugar. And the base notes are amber, musk, and sugared vanilla. All right, so for the most part, I have to say that these top, middle, and base notes are pretty spot on. There's one note that I do not smell at all. And then the rest, I would say, are actually pretty spot on for me. So in terms of the top notes, do I smell almond milk? Yes, I do. Well, here's the thing. I smell a really nice creaminess in this fragrance, which I do think could very much come from the almond milk, but that could also be coming from the coconut milk that is listed in the middle notes as well. I'm not sure that I'm really necessarily differentiating the coconut and the almond milk. Like I said, I smell a nice kind of general creaminess in this fragrance, which I'm assuming is coming from the almond milk and or the coconut milk. I don't really smell just coconut on its own. I don't really smell almond on its own. I very much get a heavy dose of that beautiful nutty pistachio note in here. However, I would say that's really the star of this fragrance, which would make sense based on the name. One thing I will say is that I kind of expected, even though it wasn't listed when I placed this order, I took a look at the fragrance notes. I somehow still expected there to be some kind of coffee note floating around in here somewhere. Because it's a latte fragrance, I just, kind of thought, why not? Could be delicious. But there is no coffee in here at all. So this is a different kind of latte, I think. Yeah, the pistachio here is really beautiful, you guys. It's that really nutty, delicious, gourmand note that honestly, it makes this particular fragrance. This is the star of the show here, and it is incredibly well done and delicious, to be totally honest. I do smell a little bit of marshmallow in here for sure, and it is a very sweet fragrance, so the middle note of the sugar also definitely is very much present. When we get to the base, it's the amber that I really don't detect at all in this particular fragrance. The musk, oddly, I do get a little bit of muskiness in this one. And with this being a gourmand, I kind of thought that the musk might ruin it. But honestly, I feel like it kind of helps to elevate the other fragrances. That pistachio, that creamy milkiness, that marshmallow note, and then obviously that sugared vanilla as well. I do think that there is a nice sweet vanilla that kind of, you know, is just incorporated throughout the fragrance, that it really makes sense in here. So in terms of the fragrance notes, I think these are for the most part pretty spot on. And if they appeal to you in any kind of way, I think this fragrance is definitely worth checking out. I really like the scent, and I do see myself repurchasing this one. I don't know if it will be in this 2-wick format again. I think I'd be open to trying it in the 3-wick format or in the wax melts, or I did have someone tell me actually to just get the melt cups. Let me know if this is your thing as well. But this particular person mentioned just purchasing the melt cups and then cutting those up. So let me know what you have done in the past and maybe what works best. I just assumed that getting the wax melts was maybe the best way to go, but it sounds like potentially the melt cups might be the way to go. So leave your advice in the comments. But yeah, the fragrance, I love it. Listen, this one is really great. Even though it doesn't have that coffee note, I just think this is delicious. It's creamy, it's inviting. I'm a huge fan of gourmands to begin with. So I assumed that I would love this one, and I'm really happy to report that after burning it to the halfway point here, I'm very much in love with the scent overall and would like to have more of it in the future. So definitely a good thing there. The strength and the throw. All right, so here is where we have a little bit of a roller coaster. The first 2 burns were definitely, I would say, a 7 in terms of strength and throw. The next couple burns, however, kind of went down in terms of strength and throw. It got to be more of like a 6 in terms of strength and about a 5 in terms of throw. Like the throw is really what, like, I think crashed a little further than even the strength of the fragrance overall. I just couldn't smell it as far away as I did for the first couple burns. So I went ahead and just kept going, and then it seemed to kind of amp up a little bit again. But as I am burning it today, it is definitely back to that lower strength and throw. I don't know why this one is kind of doing this up and down roller coaster ride here with the strength and throw. That was really not my experience with any of these other Yankees. The Capri Glow, you know, that one was the lightest out of the 5, but after burning it and reviewing it, I decided to put it in the Candle Crock, and it's a lot more potent in the Candle Crock, so I'm getting significantly more strength and throw there, which leads me to, I think I'm gonna go ahead and try this one in the Candle Crock as well for the remainder of the wax that I have left here. I really like the fragrance, like I mentioned, but with the strength and throw kind of waffling a little bit, I think honestly I'm gonna get maybe more money's worth out of this one by just popping it into the crock and just melting all of the wax at once and allowing those fragrance oils to kind of slowly dissipate that way. So yeah, strength and throw, really a little, I would say, iffy on this one. I probably, if you're looking for a stronger strength and throw, I'm not sure that this would be the one that I would recommend to you. Honestly, the most consistent has been the Azure Sky. I will go ahead and link the review for that one in the description box down below. In fact, I will also pop my review of Capri Glow down there as well. But yeah, strength and throw, not the best. Burn quality. Honestly, that for the most part has been pretty good. I will give you guys an overhead shot here. I am noticing that today the flames are a little smaller than they were when I was burning this yesterday. But also yesterday was my daughter's birthday party, and I really wasn't paying attention to the length of time that I was burning my candles. I actually had this going alongside Kringle Candle ice cream sandwiches. That was a really good combo, by the way. If you have both, you should burn them at the same time. But yeah, this candle probably burned, and I'm really embarrassed to say this, I normally do not burn the vast majority of my candle brands for this long, but I think this went for like 8 hours yesterday. And that, I think, was maybe too much for these wicks, because today when I went to go light this one up for this review, I definitely noticed that the wicks were shorter. Shorter than they were from previous burns, where I only had this lit for about 4 hours max. I do think that in terms of the max burn time that I would recommend for these 2 wick soy tumblers is probably gonna be around 4 hours. And I'm pretty sure that's probably the recommended burn time as well. So my bad for letting it go. But I've not had any other burn issues than these like low flames here on this most recent burn. In terms of any like sooting or discoloration or anything like that, taking a look at the jar, I'm gonna go ahead and run my finger along the side here. It does look like there's a little bit of a haze there for sure, but there's no outright like, you know, like scorch marks or like soot marks or anything like that. So let's take a look and see how this, I'm just gonna turn it this way here, kind of take a little sampling from around the top of the candle to see if anything comes off on my finger. So there is my finger. And honestly, I really expected this to have at least, well, there's a little bit of discoloration. You can see just a little bit of like discoloration on my finger there compared to my middle finger. But for the most part, you guys, I'm pretty impressed. Listen, burning this for 8 hours, I for sure thought, man, something is, you know, not gonna be great with this candle after this amount of time, but like, it's fine. Like other than the wick just kind of deteriorating maybe a little bit, like there's nothing else that went horrifically wrong. So let me give you guys this overhead shot here so that you can see these flames. They're definitely kind of low, and it is fully pulling out for the most part. This has now been lit for, it's probably been about just over a half hour. So there's this little area right over here, obviously, that hasn't fully melted, but everything else has, and it looks to be, it's kind of hard to tell. It's, that's not even like half an inch wax pool yet, so I don't know. We'll see how deep this one gets, but honestly, I think for me, it might be better at this point to just go ahead and maybe reserve this particular one for the candle crock. I really don't think that crocking my candles is wasteful in any kind of way. I really like that constant background fragrance, and I like blending or layering different scents together. So, you know, I think I'm going to be able to get my money's worth out of this one for the remainder of it by just going ahead and melting it. But anyway, those are my thoughts regarding Pistachio Latte. Let me know what your experience has been with this one. I feel like based on the comments of my haul video and then my last weekly home fragrance roundup, this one has been a little iffy for a few other people. So definitely go read up some of the in-depth reviews. Check out some other reviews here on this platform before making your decision. But for me, I really enjoy the fragrance and I'd like to be able to, enjoy more of it in the future. I just don't know that it's necessarily going to be in this 2-wick format. So anyway, I hope this review was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll go ahead and link this at the top of the description box so that you can go read up some other people's reviews on the Yankee Candle website. I really appreciate you guys being here. Remember to subscribe if you are new, and I will see you a little bit later on this afternoon with my review of Iced Berry Lemonade. Have a great day. Toodaloo.